Aesthetic Podcast. My name is Eric, and this is Randy.
Hello.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. All kinds. We got Randy got his hands on an M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. He's going to talk about it. I want to talk about Linux. I've been looking at Linux a lot and all kinds of operating system stuff. We're going to talk Halo.
Trying to leave Windows in the dust, right?
Leave Windows in the dust, dude. We're going to talk about Halo because we love Halo, dude.
We love Halo.
And we're
sickness at this point.
Yeah, and then Randy, you're downloading, dude. You see this video? You're like melting.
I'm downloading. Yeah, dude.
It looked like you were entering the Matrix there for a minute. So, yeah, if you're a video watcher on YouTube, we do our recording in like a really interesting way, where like he streams directly to me, but there's some weirdness that happens. So, if Randy melts away out of nowhere, he'll go from like looking beautiful to all of a sudden melting away. So
I've been having some internet issues lately, and like Comcast or Xfinity or whatever has admitted in my area that they're doing updates.
Okay,
but
they need to update really fast. Dude.
Yeah, but like I've been hurting for like 2 weeks.
Because you pay for what, like the best internet that you can get, right?
Yeah, I get well for the area, right? Like for some of our listeners, it may not be that impressive, but I get like 1,600 down, like 100 up.
1,600 downs is nuts, but 100 ups, you know.
Yeah, but like it's goofy because like I think we've had this discussion before where like all like pretty much commercial grade routers have 1 gigabit per or one 2.5 gig port on them.
Right.
So you can't really utilize those speeds, right? Because you can't really utilize those speeds on a single device because
I mean that's the thing because everything's gigabit, right?
Every other port would be limited to gigabit, right? Yeah. So like I just basically have to do like NIC teaming.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with NIC teaming. But yeah, works fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, odds are like if you have internet service like that, like one device, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to pull like that much on one device, but it's really designed for like a household, ideally. You could split it up, but yeah. But yeah, man, let's talk about the MacBook. So you just got it, man. What, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. It's pretty interesting to me so far. You know, first and foremost, out of the box, I think the thing that I noticed the most was the size. Obviously, coming from the 13, that kind of.
What do you think about it now? Because like obviously we've gotten because you've had a 16 before, but now you know, as the owner of a 13 for a while, is going back to the 16 like not something you want to do, or what do you feel?
So. Here's the thing, and I just saw myself melt on Zoom, but not melt on OBS. That's interesting. I'm kind of in this weird spot, man, where like I feel like the 13M1 is almost like magic in a bottle. So you've been kind of busy for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And like we haven't gotten to like to actually talk as much as we have necessarily in the past.
Right.
It sucks. And it sounds like I'm talking about years, but it's really been like 10 days. That seems like a lot for me.
We talked daily, dude, until holiday season hit.
Yeah, dude. So here's where I'm at. Okay. So like the screen is gorgeous. Like unequivocally, this screen is probably the best screen I've ever seen.
Wow,
the speakers,
dude. Is that like definitive ever seen
for a laptop?
Okay.
Asterisk. I mean, it probably is pretty damn good. I mean,
it's so good.
The darks are dark and the brights are like blinding. You know what I mean? So like I would maybe say it's probably one of the best screens I've ever seen. Period. Like not even on a laptop, but just period.
Can I tend to talk about the screen for a quick second?
Yeah, sure.
So there's a YouTuber I watch. It's like
Vincent Tio?
No.
Is that where you're going with this?
Dang it. No, he does a lot of monitor reviews specifically. And he did a review on the new MacBooks. Let me type it in so I can tell you. But one thing he noticed is it was beautiful. Like the display, it puts out a gorgeous image, but there's like a big pixel response time problem where like the pixels do not refresh well at all. Like, so it's like,
I haven't noticed that yet, but
I haven't noticed it either, but like I'm not playing a Twitch shooter on it.
Right.
But he you know, he's done measurements and stuff. And, you know, the thing is that they advertise like pro motion. So you get like the 120 hertz and everything. But if you get really poor pixel response times, it's just going to be a blur anyway.
It's going to look like jelly, right?
So it's like, well, yeah, you got ProMotion, but if you have poor pixel response times, I mean, they were saying it was pretty bad. So, I mean, just kind of look for that. And like next time you do like the UFO test or something, you know what I mean?
So I could tell you that in a vacuum, like if you didn't tell me that, I probably wouldn't have noticed it.
I didn't notice it until I watched the video on it.
So to your point, I'm not playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive on my MacBook. I'm just not, you know?
Right.
But what I can tell you I did notice is I'm of the left dock army with the auto hide dock.
Yeah. Okay.
And I could tell you right away that when I was playing around the 16 and then went back to my 13, I was like, ooh, that dock comes out so juddery. Like I immediately noticed the screen difference on the 13.
Is it because like the animations aren't like?
Yeah, it's because of the animations, right?
Smooth.
Like they're not as smooth, right? But then once you use the 13 for a couple hours, you don't notice it again, right?
Yeah.
But like if you used, what are you drinking, dude?
It's
the
just
balls again, dude.
You know, I'm all about.
Dude, I'm always drinking balls.
I got the blue balls this time.
Yeah,
I got more balls coming in the mail, but yeah.
So like going back to the 13, I was like, oh wow, this is not something I'll be able to do. And then like I was kind of just like using the 13 for a little bit, and I kind of lost.
The 13 is still good, you know what I mean? Like I did a side by side with I was watching, you know, when Xbox had their 20th anniversary live stream when they announced Halo Infinite. I had the live stream open on my 13-inch MacBook Pro and then my 14, and it was a lot prettier on the 14, but that was like with a side by side. Like had I not done that, I wouldn't have noticed the display was even like, this is SDR content, right? But it was like better, significantly better on the 14.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you that the first video I showed Kelly on the 16 was an SDR Halo Infinite campaign trailer, and her first comment was how good it looked. Like not like the game, but like how good, like the video looked on the screen.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't care about the game, but that display though.
Yeah, but like that's something that's like I feel like that's important, right? Because like that's just an average consumer. That's literally an average consumer. That's literally someone who says I want a MacBook or I want an iPad and doesn't look at the specs. They just buy an iPad.
Yeah,
you know, they just buy an iPhone. So for someone who is not like us to immediately point out the screen, even when I wasn't showing that part off specifically, kind of speaks volumes to it. I think there's a few. So like, I'm just going to say that my initial impressions are, I love it. Right. But I also don't love it as much as I thought I would.
So I want to get into that real quick. Let me interrupt you. So I just want to say that the reviewer that I'm talking about, let's see if it'll pull up here if I do it. Yeah. So I have it. It's a little off center, but Hardware Unboxed. Have you watched these guys?
I have. Yeah. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Good. Goes into depth on, oh my gosh. Like, I always felt like
he had a really good graphics card video back in the day.
Yeah. I always felt like I could review monitors, but like he goes to another level. Like he goes into all these graphs and pixel response times. And like, I'm impressed with the technical depth of his reviews.
I wonder if these technical channels are part of the reason, we're going off topic here, but if all these like really in-depth, almost white paper articles are the reason why Linus is feeling a little like, I need to shit or get off the pot type deal.
Oh no, that's 100%. So yeah, Linus, because
I'm melting, dude.
While you were doing that, your TeamSpeak was breaking up. So it's definitely your internet being goofy, dude. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about melting away, dude. But anyway, so that's what I think is happening with Linus is he's like, why aren't I making that content? You know what I mean?
Right.
That best in class, like white paper, like content that's very respectable. Because I think like Linus, much like us, really respects that level of journalism, that kind of depth, that there's a credibility there that he just doesn't feel like he has in his videos, right?
Right.
And I know he wants that because he has integrity, technical integrity, like we do, right? Like he cares about that. So it'd be nice to see him invest in that area more, because as of right now, you even see him reference like Gamers Nexus and stuff at times, right? Because they go into like a kind of over technical level of detail where like they lose a lot of mainstream viewers because it's like that good. But you need people like that. You know what I mean? You need people like Linus, and you need people like Steve at Gamers Nexus. So and his team.
No, I get it.
But if I had to work for one, I'd rather work at Steve's personally.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's I think it's fun.
Yeah.
To do that type of testing, more so than making random videos. But
from like I'd say from like a video maker perspective, I'd rather work at Linus's. Like if I was like a video editor, whereas
but
if I was
I think
doing
what I
the
mean
technical
is like
stuff, I'd rather be at like Gamers Nexus doing that type of content, because
I get it.
It's like that in-depth technical like deep dive that they really like put a lot of time into it. I feel like Linus's videos like have deadlines. Like they got to meet these deadlines. They got to rush everything out. They got to make a video quota, like I feel like they don't do that. I feel like maybe they're rushed, like, I don't know. They still put out great content, but I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off topic, but so the MacBook Pro, let's reel it back, dude. Reel it back, dude. So like you got it in your hands and you're kind of underwhelmed is what you're getting at.
I don't want to say I'm underwhelmed. I guess that when I got the 13, and I think you were the same way, that when we got the 13 M1 in our hands, I think that we had a certain level of expectation, and it exceeded those expectations.
The M1, I agree. I was thinking about it today, dude. Actually, I want to say I mirror how you feel. Like the M1 MacBook, I have pondered about going back, because it's just like this perfect sweet spot where you get like, no matter what you do on it, you get amazing battery life.
Yeah. So I kind of want to touch on that for a little bit. So like, I think I told you this morning, I was like, oh man, like the 16 has crazy battery life. Right.
Yeah.
And what I did was I installed DaVinci Resolve. I uploaded 25 gigs to YouTube.
Okay.
I installed a few other pieces of software like Logic Pro. I updated some of the basic Mac apps like Pages and Numbers, and I installed like Clean My Mac X and things like that. And it's like, wow, I'm still at 94%. I did a lot. That's pretty good, you know. And then I was like, I wonder how this is under load, So I literally started up World of Warcraft, and I just stood there. I literally just stood there. I didn't move because I was doing other stuff. I just left my character on. And the battery was down to 9%, which is where it gets that little low power
notification
symbol that says like your computer is going to go to sleep soon.
Yeah.
It was down to 9%, which is when that turns on. And then by the time I moved it, it dropped to 8 in 1 hour, 11 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it went from 94% to dead.
So just for some context, you remember when I did some WoW testing on the old 16-inch, and it could handle WoW for a little under an hour. So that's a better result, but it's very similar. And I remember just thinking how, like, if you do the same tests on the M1, it will last for like 3 hours, maybe 4. Like it's like,
insane. It's
and
insane.
I know that we're looking at different metrics here because on the
because one obviously runs a lot better and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, like, I'm buying a laptop for a reason, because I want that mobile portability. I want to be able to take it places.
I know.
It sounds like
and
I'm probably
battery life's so important for that.
It sounds like I'm probably being a little rough on it.
Well, it depends on what you want it for, because if you want it for that portability thing, like, it's beat by the M1. Like the M1 beats it as a mobile device, but as a workhorse device, if you're going to be plugged in, like, without question, it's like a beast, right? But if
so
it depends.
So I also want to add a few other things. I could tell you right now that I had a GS65 Stealth with a 3060,
right?
And that gets beat by the M1. Where it gets really more impressive the M1 Max, sorry, where it gets really more impressive is I'm getting better than plugged in performance on, well, let me phrase it differently. The M1 Max unplugged gets better performance than the GS65 Stealth plugged in. The ability to get the same level of performance plugged or unplugged, I can't fathom how cool that is. I can't. I honestly can't.
I love that myself, because that's one of the drawbacks of most gaming laptops is you don't dream of using it unplugged, like in getting max performance. Even the old,
but it's
16,
like a pipe dream, right? Like it's kind of like a pipe dream, isn't it?
It is. So like, I mean, even the old 16, because if you were unplugged, you would basically want to not use dedicated graphics on it. You'd switch to integrated, right? Because that's where you're going to get battery life. But like, you don't have to think about that with these new ones. You just get max performance all the time, which, I mean, for better or for worse, because I kind of wish I could like.
I do want to add to that if possible, because there is one thing I noticed but I didn't test yet.
Yeah, sure.
So those of you who maybe are familiar with WoW, like if you go into like, system and then advanced, and then like it'll say graphics card, and then like 9 times out of 10 it'll just say auto detect or your one graphics card that you have, right?
Yeah.
Well, on the M1 Max, it says Apple M1 Max, and then underneath it says Apple M1 Max efficiency cores.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What?
So WoW will let you pick it so it runs like on just the efficiency graphics
You're
card.
kidding me.
No.
There's no way. Really?
Dude, check it out. I didn't get to try it yet, but that could be a game changer. That could be a game changer.
That's kind of cool. Like, if you could switch, because I mean, if it would run on the, I didn't know it worked like that though. I thought that was like just for CPU. I didn't know that was like a GPU type of setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. So like,
I mean, I think it is, right? Like I think it is a CPU only thing. So I wonder what that actually would impact, right?
I mean, I turned it on briefly when I saw it, but like this was when I was already kind of hurting on battery.
I still think that you wouldn't get that big of a gain, right? Because
my FPS dropped by about 70%.
You know what that tells me, right? That means that your CPU bottlenecked probably for a lot of it.
I mean, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's literally, the setting is called graphics card.
Well, I don't know. I can't claim. I'm not an Apple engineer, dude. I don't know how it works under the hood. I thought it was a CPU only constraint that was, but I don't know. The thing about MMOs is they are pretty CPU heavy.
Yeah.
So I could see you, because like you're basically cutting your single core performance significantly for that efficiency core, right? So maybe even halving or more of your performance overhead. So yeah, I could see that. So it's pretty interesting, I like that you can do that. That's neat.
Yeah.
That's even a setting.
So like that was kind of a miss for me. So the battery performance was kind of what I would have expected from like every other laptop I've used under load.
And that's sad.
But the performance unplugged was better. You know what I mean? But like if I could only get that performance, but here's the thing, man. Like if I can only get that performance unplugged for an hour anyway, then I'm not going to be unplugged. So that becomes a moot metric to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know. This is the thing. We have to ask ourselves, because believe it or not, like I was saying, I'm still torn, because I could go back to the M1, the 13-inch M1, and actually be pretty, like I had a great experience on the thing. Like I remember loving it, and like I love this new device. Don't get me wrong, but like the battery life really hurts. Like once you get used to like the M1 performance, like the battery performance, it's just like you don't even think about your battery. You just have it. It's iPad level good, and then now going back, it's like, ow, this kind of sucks. Like, I don't like the way this feels, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think, man? Like, the performance, is it worth it, right? Is it worth it?
I'll tell you where I'm at now. Okay. So between the battery life problems, they're not problems. That's a bad term for it.
Yeah.
And like the battery life is great when you're doing like normal tasks, right?
Right. No, I mean, it's okay, but even then I feel like the drain is even quick still. But you know, I've had those memory issues and stuff that was reported, so I don't know if that's still a factor or not. But I feel like even just normal tasks, like my battery drain is still quicker. You know, and I don't really feel like it's significantly faster in my day-to-day tasks.
So let me ask you something then.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of how to word it. Do you also feel like the M113 was kind of like the sweet spot?
You know, I kind of do. And for what I use a laptop for, which, you know, I've always told myself, and I'm kind of battling with myself internally over this. I've always told myself I wanted a laptop that could do almost everything my desktop could do. Because, you know, if I go on travel, I want to be able to do everything I can do at home on my desktop, but on my laptop. Or if I'm on the couch, or if I'm downstairs or whatever, if I'm walking around, if I go to my buddy's house, I want to be able to have a laptop that can do everything that my desktop can do. And
I think that's I think that's your 16 though, right?
Well,
or your 14.
Well, that's basically that's basically what it is, right? But you know, I kind of find that for the most part, the 13 was good enough. In all the things that I do on a laptop, right? Like, I'm not gaming. The only thing is gaming, right? Like, but even then, the 14 can't really game because it doesn't have the software to game. You know, like I don't have the games on it. Even if it has the hardware to game, I still am having to game on my PC. You know, I can't game. And when I do game, like I stream it from my PC. I've been doing that the other day. I was playing Dark Souls through the Steam streaming client. You know, it was great. I was downstairs doing it, and then it was fine. So it's like, do I even need like this much power in a laptop if I have to sacrifice that mobility that I was so happy about with the 13? Like the battery performance was so good. And let me tell you, dude, part of me even wants to wait till next year when they come out with those sexy new MacBook Airs and get one of those.
Didn't I have a conversation with you when this thing came out? And I was like, dude, maybe we should wait. I
know.
I feel like I called you right after the keynote. I was like, maybe we should wait.
Yeah. Well, it's because, here's what happened, right? The keynote comes out. It's got all the hype shit, dude. They're like, oh, yeah, you know that M1? Well, guess what? It's twice the M1. And then guess what again? It's like 4 times the M1 with the Max. Because they came up with the Pro. It was like double M1. And the Max is like massive chip, you know, with like all this memory. Can I tell you something? Shit.
That commercial, like knowing what I know now, that commercial that's like where like the person is doing it and it's like, who would give this beast more power? Like I see that and I still want to buy it.
Yeah, I know.
Like that should be said about Apple's marketing.
That's what I mean. The marketing was like on point, but like in reality, unless you're like, okay, I just don't understand. Like what I do on a laptop is, okay, typically it's like web browse. I get on Element. You know what I'm saying? Like I do casual light stuff. And then I obviously wanted to do DaVinci Resolve and stuff on it, but I have a desktop. And after doing my Resolve testing, it still reigns supreme for the most part, you know.
What does?
The desktop, you know, my DaVinci Resolve performance like was still better on the desktop, you know, after doing proper proxy rendering and stuff. Like I'm not exempt from doing proxies on the M1, like the M1 Max. The M1 Max is great, but I still have to do proxy recordings for like my 8K Sony footage, very heavy footage, right? Because there's no like native decoding hardware on it for that footage, like there is like ProRes, or there is, but I don't know what it is with the codec, but it's very heavy, right? So I still have to make ProRes proxies to get like amazing timeline performance. But I can do the same thing on my desktop. Like I can make really good proxies on my desktop. They're not ProRes, but they're still good. So it's like I'm not really getting a huge gain by being on the M1 Max. Is it worth it? Like I don't know.
Well, here's where I think it's worth it. Okay, so like, this is one thing that I've noticed, and maybe it's something that you've noticed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the M1 Max, uh, outside of like what you're saying with like timeline performance and video performance, like you've
Right.
probably done more testing on that. But I could tell you right away that like if I'm rendering a video or if I'm importing photos and building one-to-one previews in Capture One or Lightroom or whatever,
Yeah.
I could just forget that's going on and play WoW, and it's like nothing's even going on in the background.
Yeah.
I don't understand like how good the scheduler is in Mac OS
Yeah.
Monterey and how well it ties in with the M1, but holy moly, like you could literally like people define it like people perceive like a fast computer as like not slowing down or hitching up when they switch tabs or do
Right.
whatever. The M1 is in a world of its own when it
Yeah.
comes to that, in my opinion. Like I have a 3900 XT, and I recently turned my overclock back on because
Yeah.
I usually let it do just PBO because it theoretically is better for games, you know, like with
Yeah.
the single core.
Yeah.
But my all core manual is higher, so when I do
Right.
like video editing or photo imports, like that matters more, right? So I recently
Yeah.
switched back to my manual overclock.
Right.
But if I'm importing photos, if I'm creating proxy media, or if I press F12 in Blender, like when you showed me to do that, like my Discord suffers, my web browsing suffers, my video suffers. I can't even think of launching a game. Like hell to the no.
No, you're
But on the
right.
Mac, it's like nothing's going on.
You don't feel it.
But it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's absolutely like nothing is even going on in the machine, and it's that part is fucking magical. You know what I mean? Like,
I do
that part
agree,
is
dude.
absolutely
It's
insane.
almost like a process priority.
Yeah.
Like their interface for, they
Yeah.
do not want to let it lock up. You know what I mean? They prioritize the experience in a way that like some others don't. And I
Yeah.
think that I like that though. Like
Yeah.
from
So-
a usability perspective, it's just so much better.
So I do want to point out something too, because it sounds like I'm kind of shitting on it. It's the best laptop I've ever used,
Yeah.
hands down. Like it's literally the best laptop I've ever used.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how far Apple has come along with ARM.
Yeah.
That they're already competing with dedicated 3080s in terms of
Yeah.
video editing, things of that nature, and they do it with an SoC that has essentially no fans.
Mm-hmm.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to be, a negative Nancy over here, but battery life was important to me. So like
Yeah.
to see that go away is kind of like a big oof. So
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want it anymore, because I do, but I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe my expectations were set too high, but I expected slightly less battery life with M1 Max performance, and it's M1 Max performance with typical laptop battery life under load.
Yeah.
So
Which, some people are fine with it. I just don't know if I am after living with what the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 has given me over the past year. It's just been so
as someone who wants
enjoyable.
to switch to Mac full time, I think that what this really made me do is
Like you could get it as a desktop replacement type of machine.
yeah, but now I can't because of the HDMI issue, right?
Yeah,
So like and if I'm doing that and those rumors are true about the dual soldered together M1 Maxes,
Yeah.
and I can get a Pro Display XDR and an iMac,
Yeah.
boo, so
I
like
mean, honestly, that might be a big play. Like if they come out with one of those, that'd be really interesting. And it'd be really powerful. Like it'd be like basically way better than what the laptop could offer as a desktop replacement. Right. The only benefit is you can actually take that on the go with you. So you can take it to work with you or on travel.
No, I mean, it definitely has its advantages, right? But as someone who's looking to feel like, for me, now I kind of think that maybe the play is I hold out for that iMac Pro and I hold on to my 13M1.
Yeah. It might be the play. I mean, it's not like you'd be able to get the machine quickly anyway with how long it takes them to make these things, apparently, with the supply chain shortage. But I think that maybe it is the play to wait, because if they come out with that solution that's like M1 Max Plus or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe that will be something you'd be interested in. You know,
I mean, I'm interested in the 16. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm totally interested in it. I think it's a great machine.
Keep playing with it.
Seeing how the 16 is, though, I couldn't fathom getting the 14.
It's not worth the 14. Like the 14, I will say that after using it, you know, I took it to a buddy's house and, you know, I was there all day. We were just kind of hanging out, playing Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. And, you know, while the boys were playing, I was playing around on my laptop and it was dead by the end of the day. Like, I was like, what? Like
all day battery life for a laptop is pretty good. So can you put that into like a little context?
I mean, all day, dude. I was like, I went there with a full charge and I don't know. I was there for like, I feel like I was there for like 5-6 hours or something. And like it was dead. I mean, I didn't do anything. I launched Shadow of the Tomb Raider for like 10 minutes, you know, just to show a buddy what the screen looks like with the HDR game, you know, and that was it. And then like, it was just dead. It was just dead. And I didn't bring my charger with me. I was so used to like having like great. I was like, I can trust it to last this day. I'm not only going to be doing casual web browsing and stuff, but yeah, I just couldn't handle it, you know? And
so like even doing casual stuff, it only lasted that long.
What I consider it casual. Like I was doing some browser testing. My buddy's he was trying to get me to switch browsers to some other weird browser. And I was like, okay, I'll do some testing. So I had Safari up, I had Firefox up. So yeah, it was a little bit, you know, heavy. If you want to call having 3 browsers open.
I can tell you that my experience so far with the 16, you would have been fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The 16, I think, is the sweet spot. Like, I think if you get the M1 Max chip, if you're in the M1 Pro, then yeah, the 14's I think is going to be okay with battery life and everything. But like the Max just in a 14 sounds cool, but like it is not like I would have rather got the 16. Definitely would have got the 16. Even though it's not like that sweet size, like I really did enjoy the 13, like its size and everything.
So
I don't know.
This is where I'm at. Like, I'm in a different position than you are, I think, in a few ways. So, like, one, I do love the size of the 13. I truly do. But I've kind of, you know, I've been saying it since day one. That, this is kind of my life companion, you know?
Yeah.
So,
iPad.
like, when I want a device on my lap, I have my iPad. But when I loaded up Resolve side by side, the real estate on the 16, it was just awesome. It just was like, it was just nice. And I've kind of a hot take. I think the mouse going under the camera bump is a good move.
Yeah. Okay.
And the reason for that is because if I'm like up in the menu bar on the right, and then I just move over left to go to the like the taskbar icons or whatever it's called. It feels more natural than if my mouse would to like go over that hump. You know what I mean? The fact that I could just move over feels more natural to me. Although what I will say that has been a total kick in the dick, and I had to change how I do it, is I'm someone who uses multi-desktops a lot on Mac. I don't know if you do or not.
Yeah, I do.
But on the 13, you can trigger it by moving to the right corner. But I think they blocked those pixels out for the rounded corner. So if you move your mouse to the upper right corner on your 14 or the 16, it doesn't open up mission control anymore.
Huh. No, you can still configure that, I think.
Oh,
right?
wait, hold on. Maybe I just have a hot corner
or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I just have a hot corner on my 13. Never mind. That could be it.
It's it's just a hot corner, yeah.
Anyway, that's probably what it is.
I got a hot corner for the screensaver because it looks cool. I'm like, I want to look at the screensaver now. I'm walking away. I'm going to screensaver it because it looks cool. You ever see that screensaver, Johnny Castaway?
No.
It was on like...
Wait, is that like really old one?
It's super old, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like an island with a guy on it. I had that when I was growing up, and it was like...
That's awesome.
I'd watch it for hours because it was like the coolest screensaver ever. And I literally would watch it, just watch it. That was it. Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube about it recently. It was like an editorial about like all the little things that can be in the screensaver, and yeah, it was kind of a love letter to it. I was like, yes, classic. But anyway, so
yeah, so I do want to add a few things.
yeah, go ahead. I got something to add after.
Yeah, so a couple positives, because like, again, I love the machine. I do.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. It really is. Even my 14 is great. It's honestly, like you said, best laptop ever. With an asterisk.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like the look of it, but I feel like even like the all black in between the keys, it's going to get like skin greasy after a year, even worse than the current ones.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure how longevity will be on it, for sure. Yeah. So like with everything you've said about it, like what do you think about the IO? Is it better or worse for you? Cuz I think it's a mixed.
I'm indifferent.
Okay. Indifferent. Yeah, because I think it's a little bit of a mix, right? Cuz
I like having more Thunderbolt ports.
Yeah.
I don't care for the SD card or the HDMI 2.0B.
Okay.
Kind of
I really want HDMI 2.1 and they didn't deliver. I'm sad.
Well, like, here's the problem, right, man? Because like, if I'm gonna dock at a desk, I'm gonna have my soon-to-be AirPods Max. I'm gonna have my microphone. I'm gonna have my nice 10-pound keyboard. I'm gonna have my other periphery. I just want to plug one cable in, dude. I want to be plugging in like 4 cables to my MacBook.
I mean, that's what
nice Thunderbolt dock. Right. So like I don't really see the point. Like Apple already makes me carry a dongle for every piece of equipment I use. It's like if you have an Apple Watch, an iPhone, and an iPad, you already need 3 chargers. Like,
it's not really about the dock life, right? It's about the mobility, right? Like, so if you're on the go.
Yeah, but my point is like, if I'm in the Apple ecosystem, I'm already carrying 3 chargers, right? So like, I'd rather just carry a dock. I'd rather carry like one of those little like Anchor Thunderbolt portable docks for $20 that has HDMI display port on it. Because if you make the argument that like I'm traveling somewhere, then I'm not going to know if I'm hooking up to a projector, if it's going to have HDMI, if it's going to have display port, if it's going to have USB Type C.
You know
what I mean?
Like adapters, and this one's got like HDMI.
Yeah, dude, I have the same one. I have the same one. Yeah,
it's got it even has a VGA for whenever.
Exactly right. Like,
that, dude. Like,
yeah, like you don't know what you're going to encounter in the wild.
Yeah.
So like, giving me an already outdated HDMI port isn't doing me a favor. I would have rathered another Thunderbolt port.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I know the sentiment is like, oh well, we can give the pros the ports they want, but it's not, dude. Not the ports I want. I want an HDMI 2.1, at least.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, even if they gave us HDMI 2.1, I still want to do the one cable life, like you were saying, with a dock.
Yeah.
So give me a Thunderbolt 4 capable HDMI 2.1 adapter.
And that is really weird too, right? Because like I told you, like I've tried an active USB-C to HDMI cable. I've tried a Thunderbolt 4 dock with an HDMI cable. I've tried the Apple Special Snowflake dongle. This will never do 4K 120 to any external display.
I don't understand. What's the limitation? It's Thunderbolt 4. Like, we should have the capability. Yeah. I think that the only display you're going to get that performance out of is a Thunderbolt 4 native display. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get it through HDMI in any meaningful way. I think it's going to have to be like a display that supports Thunderbolt.
Why do you think that it won't be HDMI? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we don't have a dongle yet. There's not a dongle out there that can do it.
Right, but like, I don't think a dongle would matter, because there's no reason on planet Earth why Thunderbolt 4 to HDMI wouldn't work.
What's the holdup? Is it software?
It's got to be software. It's got to be a software limitation, because like I think I showed you, dude. Like, even ones that say they'll do 8K 60, it'll say max resolution on any Mac is 4K 60. You know what I mean? So
Why?
like, it's definitely a software thing because it's got to be, right?
This is what's holding me back, though. You know what I mean? Like from using it here. Like I've wanted to plug it into my display here and kind of hook it up and make it a desktop replacement, sort of. And if I can't get like 4K 120, if I can't get a better experience on the Mac than I can with my Windows machine right here, like why would I do it? You know?
I could tell you that what I primarily use the computer for now, I don't really need 120 hertz. It's great. It's nice to have. I love it. I wouldn't not take it. But outside of gaming, I don't think I really need it that much. So for me, I want it because I think it's nicer for like UI elements.
Yeah, but if you don't need
But
it, then it's not a deal breaker, right?
but it's not a deal breaker, but it is and it isn't, right? Because when I undock, I'm getting a vastly superior experience. That's the problem. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like that. Like I'm missing out for almost no reason. So
Okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it just I hate the compromise. I hate the compromise. I just want to get like everything. I just want all of it, you know?
yeah,
I want to
no,
have
I'm the
like
same way.
4K,
I'm the same way.
120, HDR, like I just
It
don't
just
want to
seems
I just don't want to not I don't want to use Windows. Like that's the only
I don't want to
thing.
use Windows either. Yeah, like
But it's like the only thing
I
that
just
offers like everything.
I don't want to use Linux either. I want to use Mac OS. I want to be all Apple all the time, dude.
I want to use
Um,
Linux. But
I
even
want
the
to be all
Linux
Apple all the time.
support with like drivers and stuff, like especially NVIDIA, is kind of mixed. And
All Apple all the time.
yeah, I I I don't know. I'm torn. I love Mac OS and I love using
too.
my Apple products, but I have a need for open source software and Linux and Windows specific stuff that Mac OS just doesn't have. And like if I could get Proton or something on, you know, on Mac OS that could translate my Windows games, like that'd be great. But they don't
Sure.
have it. Like crossover, you know, it uses Wine and everything to do like a Windows compatibility thing, and it works sometimes. Crossover works sometimes, and you can run virtual machines, but it's just not there. It's just not, the performance isn't there to make it worth the hassle to me.
Yeah.
It's a hassle. It really is a hassle to game on a Mac. When I have Windows available to me, I just hate using it because
I have an Xbox, so
Yeah.
I'm good, dude.
like, you know, and I think maybe I shouldn't be so uptight about it, but like I think for me, it's just like I don't like Windows telemetry. I don't like the direction Windows is going with being like super cloud oriented and like taking away like even like local accounts, you know, just the thought of them saying, oh, you can't have a local account. You got to sign into your Microsoft account. You got to be internet connected. You got to let us have your telemetry. You know, we're going to force Bing down your throat. It's all these things that I just feel like are shady practices that I don't want to support it anymore. And
I kind of get where you're coming from, but I also like the ease that it has brought in me as an end user. You know what I mean? Like I just
Right.
sign into a computer and I have Windows. I like you know what I
get it.
mean? Like
I get it.
like I just sign into a computer, my files are there. I just sign into a computer and I don't have
Yeah.
to activate Windows.
But then they shove like OneDrive onto your computer and like try and force you to use it and like complain.
Yeah, install it.
And like whenever you use a default browser that's not Edge, they like freak out. They're like, try Edge, and you get little pop-ups and you get annoyed. And like,
Well,
just,
like that's weird. Like that always bothers me, right? Like on Windows, when you change your default browser
Yeah.
from Edge, it's like, "Are you sure?" And then like that,
This
like
is the most secure
and
browser.
I'm like, "Yes." Switch is like a small button that's like the same text as the background.
yeah. And to me, it's just like, I'm tired of it, dude. I'm just tired of hearing it. And I just want to get away from it if possible. But the truth is, I can't. Can't get away from Windows, dude. It's got
Stuck
too
on
much
it.
shit on it. All I got to do is just grit my teeth, turn off all the shit I don't want to experience with Windows, because you can do it.
And deal with it.
You can, you can deal with it, and you have to, because like Microsoft, they got the good shit, dude. They got fucking auto HDR. Probably they have better, like they don't have better HDR compatibility, which than Mac. I think Mac handles HDR really well. I don't know if you noticed that.
I told you that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think the colors look better on my Mac, even on the C10.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. What they just they do display profiles better than Windows does. Let's just say that. And but like I don't know. I just like if you're a gamer, like you're staying on Windows, dude, until like we get really great Linux support or Mac OS support. Like Windows is gonna remain the king for gamers, PC gamers, for like the long term, I think. Until like we get like the Steam Deck come out, make waves, people start to like, consider Linux as a platform, and then
we'll see if that happens.
And then Apple has to give a fuck about the gamers. Like everyone's making the YouTube videos about like, yo, Apple, you have a powerful device. Why can't I fucking game on it? And I echo that, because I have a powerful device. Let me game on it, dude. That's the way I see it. Like obviously, I'd love to have one device to rule
I think
them
everyone
all,
would.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I think in my shoes, for me, like the new MacBooks, my 14-inch, obviously it's powerful, but I start to think like, well, I have a desktop and I'm not looking to replace it. And I don't really need that mobile performance. So maybe the play for me specifically is just to get the Air, dude. Like that new Air.
What are you going to do with your 14?
Fucking sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it, dude. Like, I want to keep it, but like, it was so expensive. Do you know how much money I can get for selling it and then get like an Air? Which those Airs are cheap, dude. Those Airs are cheap. Well, like the M1. Tell me this, dude. The M1, like as of right now, like if you bought an M1 Air or an M1 Pro, MacBook Pro, those things are great value for the money. You know what I mean? In my opinion, like the performance per watt.
I think everything. The M1 Air was like $899 over the holiday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like crazy.
That's so good.
Like my iPad was more than that.
Yeah, I was like, maybe next year's Air is the play for me personally. Because
it looks nice.
It looks so nice. That they got the colors. You know what I mean? Like, and
what if they brought out the M2?
Yeah,
that had the same draw as the M1 but more power.
Oh my god, dude! I honestly think I could sell my 14-inch. It depends. It depends on the screen, I think, because the thing about the current M1 Air versus the Pro is you lose 1,000 nits of brightness by going with the Air, and I like my nits, dude. So I don't know if I could handle it, but it's such a pretty mock-up that I might. I don't know.
I don't blame you. I
don't know. I'm gonna stick with my 14 for now, but I don't know. I haven't sold my 13 yet, dude. I think there's something in the back of my head that's like, don't do it, don't sell it, keep it.
Like I said, I think for me the play is maybe iMac Pro.
Yeah, I would just wait, dude. Like you got your work 16, like just play with it.
Yeah.
If you get to the point where you're like, yeah, this is it. This is the laptop, then do it. But the M1 MacBook Pros were like no regrets machines. Right?
No, immediately. Like even from a cost standpoint, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Like you felt great about that purchase, but like this new MacBook is expensive to the where you don't really feel great about it after. You're like, ugh, that hurt. And even though it's
because like to your point, like it's not like, oh, I can do this now that I couldn't before.
Right.
That's not the case.
You don't really feel that. Like like the gaming performance is significantly better, but I don't game on it. Yeah. So like the DaVinci Resolve performance is great, but like it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad on the M1, especially if you render lower quality proxy.
It's almost to the point, dude, where like I think that like if I woke up in the morning, okay,
yeah,
and I rendered ProRes proxies, okay, like just say while I'm taking a shower, and then I wanted to go edit video at Starbucks, I would probably have a better time on the M1 than on the newer machines, just because I could be there longer.
And it wouldn't die on you. right?
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
I don't think that like it like, oh man, this is so bad I can't even work.
Right.
But I would be there for longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Now, one thing I will say is like, I know when I was playing with Blender, like it was twice as fast on the new machine. And
okay.
like, obviously if you're like, if I was using Blender, it's like a significant gain on the M1 Max. Like it's without a doubt way better. And it's only going to get even better because native metal support is coming to Blender, and when that comes, it's just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, rocket ship, yeah.
But like it's significantly faster on the new machine. So anything that uses like a GPU in any respect, it's going to be like way better. But like it's not like single core performance is better. You know what I mean? It's multi core because you have more cores, threads. So yeah, you can have a million tabs open in your browser, but like, and you can render videos faster, but like a lot of times you're using the dedicated hardware for encoding and stuff anyway. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just kind of mixed on it. It's kind of expensive. It was just expensive, Yeah. And so like, I think like a lot of people were saying like, don't get this unless you need the power.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I do.
I kind of was like that way too. I'm like, dude, like I feel like our 13 is powerful enough.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I don't feel like let me say this. I don't feel like my M1 Max replaces the desktop enough for me
it's close though, right? Like it's scary close for me at least.
If you feel that way, then okay. But like I don't feel like it replaces the desktop. I still feel like I would rather DaVinci Resolve at my desktop. I still feel like I'd rather, obviously I game on my desktop, right? And this podcast and stuff works well on the desktop already. Like I don't feel like the M1 replaces what my desktop does enough.
So let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
If you were not a PC gamer, okay.
If I wasn't a PC gamer, I probably wouldn't have this setup in front of me. You know what I mean? I would switch because like I don't have a need for a PC. You know what I mean?
So like if you were someone just going out and you were totally brand agnostic, but you wanted something to do Blender, to edit videos, to do all that other stuff.
I mean, if I had the money, I wanted a machine that could just do it all. Then yeah, I would just get the 16-inch and just stick with it. It might not render as fast as a desktop, but then I don't need a desktop. You know what I mean? I don't need this heavy setup because that's what I have right now. Like I have a fucking server rack next to me, dude. It's literally huge. It's got like this massive, I mean, it's beautiful, right? Like it's a beast. I love this setup, but like it is in no way elegant. And I kind of, whenever you see those Apple ads where you got like the most clean like setup, and they got like this beautiful furniture.
I'll be honest with you, like I want to ditch my desktop. Part of the reason because it's just messy, it's cluttered.
Yeah,
like
I kind of want to go like minimalist everywhere, a little bit, a little bit of that.
Like
minimalism,
like that iMac Pro, dude. That'd be nice, dude.
I know.
One cable, dude.
We'll see. One cable life. I just think that it's elegant, especially for what we want to do. I don't know, man. Like I agree. Hopefully the rumors are true, dude, because you were saying like they were going to make a double-sized M1 Max. That's kind of nutty if they do that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's going to be a massive... That's going to be like a Threadripper style chip, dude. You know what I mean? SoC, dude. That thing's going to come with like... What's the max memory you can get? 64 gigs on this bitch? So yeah.
Well, it should be 128 maybe?
It would be double.
Could you imagine,
right?
Dude? Could you imagine,
128 gigs of unified memory. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck? Like nobody has that shit. Nobody's got that. So that honestly, that's industry leading. So pretty freaking nuts. If they put a Pro Display XDR in it, dude, game over.
Well, it's in the Mac, right? So like, I don't see why it wouldn't be in the iMac Pro.
You're right. If they put, because like they already charge so much for the Pro Display XDRs, and if they put like what were they saying, that the laptop displays are better than the Pro Display XDR? I think some people were saying that, dude.
I think that the PC one isn't 60 hertz though, right?
You know what? Yeah, the Pro Display XDR is 60 hertz.
Yeah.
And so, you get ProMotion with the laptops, which is pretty cool. Although the pixel response times are kind of weak.
Like I was telling you though, like those iMac Pro teasers, like they look pretty crazy, dude.
Is there teasers?
Like,
I don't think I've seen any.
well, it's not official, but the leak.
I've seen like a bezel-less, not bezel-less, but it was like black, like
Yeah, it just looks like a giant iPad. Pretty much.
yeah, that's
I
cool.
sent it to you.
Okay,
But like, if that's what it is, dude, I'd be down for that.
okay, yeah. Hold on, let me pull it in. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think that would be cool if they. I mean, this is pretty clean, dude. Let me pull it up for the. If you're a viewer, this is what I just got from Randy. Check that out. I mean, that's clean. That's clean. No notch on it, dude. Where's the webcam? Where's the notch? I'm just kidding. It's big enough bezel where you won't need a notch. But that'd be clean. It is like a big iPad. Now, where's the touch screen, right?
Yeah. Weird, right?
I kind of, they already hinted at it with the new design that came with like Big Sur with mission control and everything coming. Looks very touchable, but it's not, So it's almost like they want to, but they just won't push. They just won't do it. Sad.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. Any last thoughts before we hop topic?
I don't think so. I think we've kind of exhausted this topic for now. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it again
it's been like an hour, dude. Sorry for people that don't give a shit.
Relay my final thoughts, but I definitely do want to, I think I just want to give some closing comments. I think it's an absolutely incredible machine. But as someone like Eric who has a really powerful desk set up the way it is, and I'm trying to switch to Mac full time.
Yeah.
I would be compromising too much by switching right now. So that being said, I think it's a fantastic machine. If someone needs the power and this is your only device and you want, a really powerful machine that could go blow for blow with a desktop, I would say that this is probably the best one you can get. Mm-hmm. However, my experience is it's a really great machine that doesn't make me want to give up my 13 M1 yet, but it makes me want to wait and see what the iMac Pro brings.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what Randy says. It's basically like it's a great machine, but I don't know.
Now, if the iMac Pro is nothing special, then I may get the 16 MacBook for myself. But if the iMac Pro, it has a 120 hertz ProMotion display and it has, maybe even just like an overclocked M1 Max, I'd probably get that.
Think about this, dude. That machine I think that machine, if you get that and then you have like a lower power laptop, like the M1 or an M2 device when they come, I think that's a kind of a wombo combo, don't you think?
That's kind of where I'm going to, dude. Is like maybe that's what I do.
I feel like the portability, like the battery life that you get out of an M1 class device is just worth it, like for portability's sake.
Yeah.
Whereas like you don't want to lose that when you go with like a beefier device, and you really do lose it. So, and you lose the portability if you go with a 16. So, and I just don't know if like maybe the play for a lot of people could be that sweet in between. The 14 with the M1 Pro chip might be a good play, and I haven't got to play with that.
It's really interesting to me because prior to this call, you kind of brought up a good point that like maybe if you didn't mind the size, the 16 Pro would be a good sweet spot too.
16 Pro would be like. It could be really compelling because you're going to get the biggest battery, but then you don't push as hard as the Max, maybe like half as hard. So if you don't care about that size, I kind of do care about it. Like to me, battery life and portability are kind of hand in hand. Like the size is also a factor in portability and mobility. And the 16 might be a little too big for me.
I like the 16 just from we're on this topic. Terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's like let's
Uh,
switch, please.
I like the 16 just because there are things on the 13 that I don't enjoy doing.
Right.
Okay, like I would never mobily raid in WoW on a 13. It's just too small.
Yeah, I
I would
agree.
gladly do it on the
But
16
you could
though.
always plug
Anyway,
into a monitor. Anyway,
yeah. Anyway, Linux.
anyway, Linux. So real quick, guys. So I've been kind of obviously Randy and I are big tech guys. Even though we talk Apple a lot, we love tech. And I know I personally, we use everything. From Windows to Mac OS, and obviously we have preferences. We enjoy Mac OS, but it doesn't mean I'm not always interested in Linux and things that are happening. And
Right.
obviously the Steam Deck, a device that we're both very excited about, is coming soon, and it runs Linux on it. It's going to be there.
So it ships with SteamOS, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's going
Is
to
it
ship with
okay?
it's they call it Steam OS, but for those that aren't really in the know, if you are in the know on Linux, it's very close to like Manjaro Linux that has the KDE Plasma desktop environment.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if in fact during their recent live stream, they had a developer live stream, and they said if you don't have a developer Steam Deck right now, go ahead and request for one. But in the meantime, if you want something that can simulate the Steam Deck environment, you can build a Manjaro Linux with the KDE Plasma desktop environment, build yourself, and kind of make a little. They called it a hacken deck, where you have a device that's very
Okay.
similar to the Steam Deck. And they even had little tiny 7-inch displays that you could get on Amazon that were close enough to where you could kind of see how your game might work on a small display like that. And
It's interesting.
yeah, they were like, you get a little USB controller. They even had like a little box, Steam boxes you could, or not Steam boxes, but little Linux boxes you could buy on Amazon that were pretty similar in performance.
Do you have one that you could link just like curiosity's sake?
No, unfortunately, I'd have to pull up the YouTube
Okay.
video and find it and everything. But they said
I
that
was curious of like a price point on it.
I'm not sure. It's really for developers to try. If you were just a person like me, you could load it up in a VM, and play with it, Manjaro
Sure. Okay.
Linux, and
Okay.
kind of get a little feel. I know I was loading up a live CD, or actually a thumb drive, and I was going to put Linux on it, so I didn't have to, dual boot or mess with any hard drives on my computer. I could just put the image, live CD as they call them, on a bootable USB. So I was going to put Manjaro Linux with the KDE desktop environment, load it up, and see how how it feels, how it works. You can go on the
Yeah.
Manjaro Linux website. I have it pulled up here, and it's kind of goofy here on how I'm showing it here, but it's free. Obviously, Linux. It's an open source community and everything. I wish they showed better pictures here on how it looks, but they're just like, blah.
Yeah.
For those that are, interested in what Manjaro, or what, Linux really is, this is maybe how it looks. Let me mute this video. But let's just pull up this video just to look. You can see kind of how it looks.
Manjaro is very like user friendly, I think.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
it's like a
distro
good
that tries
transition.
to be,
Yeah.
right. It's a lot of people say Manjaro Linux is a good starter distribution because it's very user friendly. There's package managers and stuff that you can use to install common software that you use. I think Steam might even be pre-installed. So you don't have to be a terminal wizard with
Sure.
commands to be able to use Manjaro. So to me, this is very compelling. And KDE Plasma, the desktop environment they use, is very friendly on older machines. So you can install it on VMs, that maybe you don't have all your system resources dumped into, and it could work pretty well.
How is like API support for like graphics cards? Like if you get this is going to sound really rudimentary. I'm trying to think of a really good way to kind of translate it for our listeners. If you get say 100 FPS in Counter Strike,
Right.
would you expect to get 100 FPS in Linux, or are the drivers not as mature on
So
Linux?
what I've seen is yes, you can get excellent performance on
Okay.
Linux, especially games that support it natively. Maybe they use APIs that are like Vulkan. You know what I mean? Like Linux support for Vulkan API is excellent. So the only thing is if you're say if you know a thing about Steam Deck, you know that it's going to use Proton to
Right.
as a compatibility layer for your Windows games,
And that's very similar to Rosetta 2, correct? Well,
not Rosetta 2, but it's like I don't know what they use actually for Proton, so I can't really elaborate.
Well, it's not actually Rosetta 2, but it's like in that line of thinking. Is that a correct statement?
Well,
or
I'd
is
say yes, in the sense that it does a translation. It's not an emulation, so it does like a Rosetta 2 like translation. API level,
Sure.
so where it's like taking these calls and converting them over to whatever Linux can interpret, etc. Right? Especially for things like when it wants Windows dependencies, like it's interpreting and handling those to where you can play your Windows games on a Linux-based machine, and that's where Proton comes in. And I think there's a performance hit for that, but it's not like very significant. I think
so.
It's good.
Here's another question for you then. With Proton, will you be able to play any Windows game, or will there be limitations?
So there are limitations. So there's, I think, let me see if I can Google it real quick, because maybe I can tell you. Proton Steam support. Let me see. There was a website. Here it is. Proton DB. With Proton and Steam Play, many Windows games now work on Linux. So they can tell you here that out of the top 10 games, it looks like 40% are Gold++.
Wow.
And then top 100, 78%, top 1,000 games, 76%. So they have different levels of compatibility here. Native compatibility would obviously be the green, I think. That's like, native. 30% of your top 10 games is native support. That's obviously not translated. That's like purely, and you can see rated for top 10, Counter-Strike, Dota 2, and Team Fortress 2 are all, Valve titles. So naturally, New World is borked. So this is the borked category. New World, PUBG, Apex Legends.
That's broken on Windows, so.
Dude, valid point. So, it's saying like, here's some sampler of games that are not officially whitelisted, but have received platinum reports. So people have gotten like really popular games to work, So I think that you can get a lot of AAA experiences through Proton now,
That's pretty cool.
Not every experience. So I think that a lot of Steam Deck users will be very happy with what you can play, though. So I think Linux gaming is something through Proton and other compatibility software. You can really get great experiences, I think, on Linux now. And that's what I'm compelled to give it a shot and see where we're at, especially because
it's interesting
the
to think,
Steam Deck, to me, I kind of want to do a little preparation for it, because I think that, if I can get some, I want to get an emulator build ready to where I can just deploy it on the Steam Deck day one. It's got all kinds of games already ready to.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
can you elaborate on that a little
have
bit?
you ever seen RetroArch? RetroArch being the it's a front end for emulators.
Yeah.
So I use this quite a bit, and I actually have it on my Mac running. And so I wanted to get a build together with a bunch of games and have it ready for the Steam Deck just day one. Just throw it on there. Everything's ready to go. And, I wish they had better like pictures and stuff here. It's pretty minimalist here. You can see in these pictures here. It's just, load your core. A core would be like, which system, which emulator you're going to have, and then load content would be what game.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
so it kind of looks like this, and you can have a lot of stuff going on, and there's support for like quick saves and, you know, even things like rewinding and stuff. Shader support, cheat support, all the controllers profiles you could imagine. Yeah, lots of cool stuff in here. So I want to play around with setting up like things
I think you're
for the Steam Deck.
You're a February order, right?
Yes.
So am I. Yeah.
Another Linux version I wanted to talk about quickly is Garuda Linux. If you have like a newer machine and you want like a fancy looking Linux that's really cool
let's see
looking.
it. I'm not too familiar with that one. I'm more familiar with like a Pop OS.
Yeah.
Or what's
Pop
that one
OS
that
is very popular.
that like gives you that it's been a while since I played around with it, but that ability to like install like a nice user interface or like a command line interface. Is it Mint? Why does Mint sound familiar?
Mint's a popular distro as well.
I think it's Mint that I'm thinking of.
Really, you can do whatever you want. So Garuda, in much of the way that Manjaro, you can pick your desktop environment. You know, GNOME and KDE are probably like your biggest two, but there's many more than that. You can have any kind of desktop environment you want. I feel like GNOME is a little bit more Mac OS-y, whereas KDE is a little bit more Windows-y, just by like looking at them.
By aesthetic? Dude?
Yeah, by aesthetic. So you might be a GNOME guy just because it looks like Mac OS. But like you can customize it any way you want.
Now, is it GNOME or GNOME?
GNOME probably. I don't know. I've heard it pronounced both ways. So I'm not a Linux god, so don't take my word for it. GNOME, whatever you want to call it. This is a very pretty looking OS. I love how it has like these transparencies on everything. They have like this Gaussian blur going on. They have a package manager. They have like this. It uses the Arch Linux backend, I think. Arch Linux, and it's super nice. Like
so, if you were to
icons, like how it kind of.
If you were to daily drive one right now, which one would it be?
I'd probably. I don't know. I downloaded both. I'm gonna play with both in a VM or on a live thing, because I have a computer beefy enough to where I can handle the overhead from Garuda, but like I kind of wanted to go with Manjaro just because it's a little bit more lightweight, cut down, and it'll be just faster from that perspective. But really, both of them are pretty comparable when it comes to gaming from my research. One thing that I think is fascinating with Garuda is the file system it comes with. BTRFS file system with compression and all that. It's a really neat file system that gives you like automatic snapshots out of the box. It's like super fancy. So you can, if like you do anything, it's always making snapshots whenever you do stuff. And like, say you install, you know how on Linux you install something, right?
Right.
And like it could just fuck, you know how, I don't know if you watched the Linus Tech Tips videos recently about him trying Linux. And like one of the things he did was he completely fucked up his desktop environment. He like wiped it out on accident. So it was just like terminal. And he was like, what did I do? Well, if he was using the snapshot feature, he could literally reboot, pick the snapshot that it made automatically before he effed it up, and like he'd be back to where he was.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet.
And that's really sweet because like even Windows doesn't do this. Like it you know, like I remember way back in the day, does Windows do snapshots still? It probably has a snapshot, but like I used to actually use Windows snapshots back in the day to save my ass, but I don't know if it does like it used to. But like I'll say this, no matter what Windows does, it's not going to outmatch this. Like the things you can do on Linux are just better. It's in a league of its own technically that I just kind of love it. I'm probably going to try out Manjaro with KDE Plasma because that's what Valve recommends if you want to test out like an environment that's close to a Steam Deck. And that's really my goal, is to familiarize myself with Linux. So when I get that Steam Deck, I can hit the ground running and just like really test it to my heart's content. You know what I mean? So that's why I've been really into lately is Linux and looking at Arch Linux and the user.
You're all hyped for the Steam Deck, dude. You're getting ready, dude.
Well, I think
ready, dude.
You know, one thing that I talked about, it's kind of like my philosophy, right? Like obviously I'm very privacy oriented and I love open source, and I see myself as someone that wants to, like, I wish I could just drop everything and go full on open source software, OS, everything, just like no proprietary anything. It just kind of is liberating in a different way where it's like, I know exactly what's running on this machine. You know, I almost wanted to go straight up Arch Linux where it comes basically a terminal shell and no shell involved, nothing, just terminal. And then I have to install everything myself. And I know exactly what runs on my machine. Everything, right? Front to back. There's no like weird processes in the background. Nothing weird that I don't know on the machine, you know, like
right.
Windows and, you know, Mac OS, they both have that kind of weird gremlin stuff going on in the background. I think a little less with Mac OS, but that could be my ignorance. You know,
sure. I'm definitely more fluent in Windows than I am in Mac. So
on a technical level, yeah, I'm absolutely more like fluent in Windows, and that's just because I have to be out of necessity for my job, right?
Right.
But that means that I know what Windows is doing,
what's going on,
and like I know it's kind of like a little creepy with how it operates, and I don't like it. Mac OS, I don't know how creepy it is. But I just kind of feel like it's not as creepy. That's my general vibe, is it's not as creepy as what Microsoft is doing with Windows. But like with Linux, I know exactly what it's doing. I have the ability to know exactly what my machine is doing at any time. And I kind of love that. Like it's liberating in a way. And I kind of want to see if I can in some way have that in my life, you know? So that's why I would kind of love to try out Linux and see if I could maybe full time it, you know, maybe there's a way to be
That'd
on
be interesting.
Linux.
That'd be interesting. I mean, you play a lot of wonky games, dude, with like a lot of wonky mods. So
no,
I think
right,
you're probably
dude.
Windows for life because of that, too.
Well, you know, I was considering because virtualization is so good now with hardware pass through that like maybe I could run Linux, and then for those weird there's weird instances where I require Windows, I could just fire up a VM with full like hardware pass through support.
Can you do that with a graphics card without having like SVIOV and all, or SRIOV and all that stuff?
Those are words I don't know, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like
I can't
because like
answer
that's
you.
something that like is locked to the Quadro cards, where you can do full GPU pass through and then split GPU amongst
This is
multiple
why
VMs.
if you're a Linux user, you probably ought to dedicate yourself to AMD because they let you have open source drivers.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't lock out
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Exactly. One thing I'll say though, with Garuda Linux, when you go and download it, it's interesting. They give you options, right? For like, do you want the version that's like NVIDIA native drivers already built in? So it's kind of interesting how you can pick. Gosh, they give you a lot of things to pick for. Look at this, dude. I know you got a delay, but like this is GNOME. So you can see they got Garuda Linux GNOME. You can kind of see it's a little bit Mac OS-y. This is KDE Dragonized with Leet Speak, I guess. So those are the two most popular. Look how pretty it looks though with the icon pack. And then, you know, that looks nice with GNOME. And then they have...
My problem with icon packs is if there's not an icon for everything, then it always looks out of place.
I agree. So that would inevitably happen. But you can see they have a lot of different ones here. Garuda, I have no idea what all these desktop environments are. Sway, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But you have options. Like, that's cool as hell. Like, that you can just, you know, flip-flop between entire user experiences. You know,
visually neat.
I just think that's fascinating. Cinnamon, that's one I've heard whispers about. I just think that's so neat. And then Barebone, that's probably just like, yo, this is like the no desktop environment included.
I want a Linux environment that looks like Windows 3.1, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, that'd be nutty. I don't know, man. I think I'm excited just looking at all this stuff. I'm like, man, this looks like fun to play with. I kind of just want to just get in there and start clicking around and see like
what happens.
See what happens, dude. Maybe I'll be inspired to ditch Windows as my main OS.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
The desktop. It is hard, but like with Proton and things, like I feel like I could maybe like, you know, that Proton database, you know, it's like, okay, 78% of the top 100, maybe 78% of the time I could be on.
You may have told me this already, and I apologize. Is Proton only affecting Steam games?
Yeah, it is. So it runs within Steam. So like if you install Steam on Linux,
so like I can't play like Overwatch on Linux, for example, or Diablo 2 remastered on Linux.
That's a good question. I don't know if you can run games like that through Proton. There might be a way to download. I don't know, dude. I don't know enough about it. I just know that
I was curious.
Steam and Proton are so well integrated that like when you play a game on Linux, say you're on Linux, you have Steam installed, and you go to play a Windows game that doesn't have native support on Linux, but it does have Proton support, it just works automatically.
That's cool.
Like nothing weird happens. It just kind of automatically plays. And it's just seamless to the user. That's my perspective on it from what I was reading. And I think that's awesome. Like you don't even think about it. It's like Rosetta 2 levels of seamless. And that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
No, I agree.
Anyway, dude, that's the topic. Let's move on, dude. We got to speed run the rest of our topics because we're at an hour and 21 minutes on my timer, dude. So let's knock it out. Halo, dude. Let's talk about Halo quick.
All right, dude.
Halo. Halo Infinite, dude. Yeah. So what do you think, dude? Have you played it or given up on it? Because the controversy, it's been controversial.
I have about, I mean, I'm playing it, right? I mean, probably not as much as you. I think I have like 110 multiplayer games complete.
Okay.
So a fair amount. I mean, you're probably higher.
I'm not sure, dude.
I love the game. I love the game to death. The progression system is absolutely terrible. And like, I feel like I've talked to you about it before. Like it's terrible. It's awful. It's like, I don't know who thought that up. Who thought it would be a good idea.
You know what's weird? They've already adjusted it multiple times, even recently.
And it's not better. It's not better.
Well, they did make it a little bit better. Like they brought back the scaling to where your earlier games are more XP.
Right, but I still want that like progressive XP, right?
Yeah.
Where like you just like kind of level up and do your own thing, and that's how you get rewarded. Like the problem is still there where like I can log into the store and there is a $20 armor kit with limited customization.
Yeah.
That's literally like 33% of what they're asking for their campaign that they've been working on for years.
And
an armor set.
So let me just admit something that I'm sad to admit it now, but I had a little bit more faith in 343 and Halo Infinite. I spent $100, on the...
Yeah, dude, you went all in. Dude.
I went all in.
Whale, dude.
I was like, well, I figured, like, I'm going to be playing Halo Infinite for, like, years, and I figured, like, over the couple years, I'll probably have $100 that I want to, like, throw at the game, and I might as well do it now. So that's how I felt. But, like, after seeing what they've done, I'm just like, this isn't worth it. It was not worth me spending the $100.
Right.
So I feel like they got me. I feel disappointed now. I feel ripped off. And that is not the feeling I want to have when I just spend $100 on your game to support you, And so I'm very upset about it that I've spent that money. I can't get a refund. It's basically, I got to deal with that, and I'm okay with that. I bought the $20 skin that they had first week, but it turns out that you can't use all the stuff that you unlock with every armor setup that they have, all the armor cores they have, right? So
yeah,
I can't use the visor.
It's bizarre world.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's also some weird things that I don't like either.
Yeah,
like the challenges are terrible.
Yeah, and for the most part, I don't enjoy them.
I think I told you what happened to me last week, right? It was like that, like origami tea color or whatever. Yeah. That like I really wanted to work hard to like unlock.
It looks nice.
It was a holiday weekend, right? Like I played. Did you unlock it?
No, I didn't. I don't think I got it yet.
No.
I have to check.
Well, it's gone already. So it doesn't matter. It's weekly challenge. But the problem with that is, dude, is like now I played probably 60 games to get my weekly challenges done. Okay.
Yeah.
And like the last one, I really had to grind out. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm going to get it with 1 day left. I think I told you what happened. Once you finish your weekly challenges, they give you a weekly ultimate.
Yeah.
And the weekly ultimate is goofy.
Is it?
Like the weekly ultimate I got was get 6 killing sprees in different Fiesta matches.
6 killing sprees in Fiesta?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not impossible, to be fair.
It's not impossible, but I had 1 day left because I couldn't work on it throughout the entire week.
That's a lot of matches, dude.
Yeah.
That's more than 6 matches. You ain't getting a killing spree every match.
Yeah, right.
So
and like
pump.
so like if you're gonna make these ridiculous weekly challenges, why can't we just work on the weekly challenges all at the same time? Yeah. Why can we only work on like maybe 3 weekly challenges at once? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it blows my mind because like if you're gonna give people something like that ridiculous, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
The other one was like that like thankfully I had a pass on, but this was a normal one. It was shock 4 enemy Spartans at the same time 3 times with that stupid shock rifle gun.
Oh
like, are you kidding me? Like that's a feat in and of itself to do it once.
Yeah, that's stupid. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of the challenges either. Challenge swaps don't fix the problem.
No, but challenge swaps are behind a paywall.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get some of them. I think
you're gonna run out, man.
Well, actually, shit. Yeah. Is the free the free unlocks in the battle pass give you challenge swaps? I don't know.
They do, but that's about all they give, right?
Yeah,
like I think someone on Reddit posted that like 33 of the cosmetic unlocks are locked behind the premium pass.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a massive amount because like there's a lot of like XP boosts and all that stuff.
This,
but
dude, even the ones that you can unlock aren't even that nice looking. You know what I mean?
No, they're terrible.
It wasn't awful. Worth it. Like the battle pass, I think like, okay, I can level up faster. I can get the unlocks that I don't even want. Like I don't even want them.
Yeah, I don't want anything. Like I'm battle pass 50, so I just got the you turn to like fire ashes when you die and the skull comes up.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's cool because it works a little bit differently than I thought. So you equip death animations to weapons.
Oh, what?
So,
that's interesting.
Right. So when you kill someone with that weapon, that's how they die.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
that
cool.
is super neat.
I just want to say something positive there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, if that's very little you can say positive right now. The gameplay is fun. I just wish that we could pick the matches that we want to play, you know, instead of just queuing.
The gameplay is great. I think the time to kill feels great. The guns feel awesome.
Yeah.
It's probably the first assault rifle, or the first Halo where I don't feel gimped using the assault rifle.
The assault rifle is great.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I always want to pick up something else, but I can use it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, okay, I got the assault rifle, but I can run out there and use it and get some kills. And not hate it. So yeah, I don't know. Every gun feels good. It's just like the monetization shit. Hopefully they, you know, it seems like their response 343 on Twitter, they've said, we've heard you loud and clear. We hate it too. We want to fix it. Keep raising hell about it. And it's probably so they can bring together, like some people were theorizing, they're trying to build a case that against, you know, upper management and stuff. Like, we need to change this shit. And like all they see is dollar signs, you know what I mean? But if they see this backlash, they're gonna have to adjust. And I hope that they do, because I want Halo Infinite to be the game I want to play instead of going back to Master Chief Collection, which I'm perfectly content with because I love all the other Halo games.
I'm a double-edged sword guy on that one. So
what's that mean? What's that mean?
I don't want to have a reason to not go back to MCC because I've been playing MCC this entire time.
MCC respects you, like, you know,
like I just got 4th prestige on Master Chief Collection. I've been playing that a lot.
Nice.
Because like I mean, like even with Infinite now, I'm still going back to MCC just because it's a different experience, right? Like it's a lot of fun to hop in, pick like a SWAT game mode, and literally be like a fiesta of what game type you're going to get, because there's like so many different variants of Halo in it, and now it's at a point where like you never fail to find a match, you never fail to find people for a match.
Yeah.
It works every single time. It's just it's rewarding, man. Dude? And like I think I showed you that picture.
You know, I was just about to say,
yeah.
Sorry, this is not to interrupt you, but I was just about to say, like, why didn't they just add Halo Infinite to MCC, like, to where I could, you know what I mean? But like, it would make Halo Infinite look so bad if it was in MCC. Like, compared to everything that's in MCC, Infinite looks like a joke. Like, there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Infinite feels like a Madden release, dude.
It does. Like the game, like obviously we're hyped about Halo, but like if you compare it to MCC, dude, it's nothing. And like, I mean, it took a long time for MCC to get to where it is now, but like it's unbelievably great. It really is. So it sucks. Like I tried to get some of my buddies to play MCC and they're just kind of over it. And I'm just like, why? It's
recently?
Yeah. Like I tried to.
Would Chad play it?
Well, no, he won't. That's really who I'm talking about. Like I was like, Chad, let's go play MCC. Like this was before Infinite, right? Like he was just like, I'm done with it, dude. And I'm like, what?
That sucks.
I'm like, dang, that sucks. Yeah. So I was sad because
I'll play MCC whenever you want to. I love it.
All right. Well, that's good to know because like I wanted to play it. You know, I wanted to play MCC because it does respect me and I love all the other Halo games. And
this season pass or whatever it is you want to call it for MCC is amazing. I love the armor sets in it.
Yeah, I'll look at it, dude. I haven't looked at it, but I want to keep up on MCC because I think that it's still a worthwhile experience even with Infinite out. You know.
So for those who haven't checked it out and are curious, this battle pass is free. Everything is free on MCC. You couldn't even add money to it if you wanted to.
And that's the thing. You pay for it once, you get all the shit. I'm an old, call me an old fuck when it comes to games, dude. But like, that's how I feel like games should be, dude. You buy it and then it's yours. And then you can play the game and everybody's on a level playing field. It's not about your wallet. Like, give me that, dude.
So what I wanted to add was that this battle pass is essentially Spartan armor, but gladiatorial Spartan armor, and like the theory behind it is like they kind of made a throwback set for the Spartans to hearken the Spartans of old for training purposes.
Yeah,
and to like give away like the best warriors. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and like all the sets just look incredibly cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean MCC is definitely the way to go. I think if you're a Halo fan, dude, like it's $40 right now, I think, for the entire shebang, dude. And like, what are you getting for $40, dude? I just spent $100 for what? I spent $20 on like one armor
visor,
set,
pink
dude.
visor,
pink
pretty much,
visor.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you could spend $40 and get like how many Halo games now? Shit, 5.
Yeah. And like I said, like you can unlock everything. Like you could literally. Yeah, I couldn't pay to win in Master Chief Collection if I wanted to.
4 Reach, freaking anniversaries for 1 and 2, like all kinds of customization and stuff. Like it's just the amount of game you get for your money there. It's just like that's where you should go.
That's
Infinite,
the GOAT, dude.
Even if I get Halo Infinite is free. No, dude, it's not free if you value your time, dude, and. Like, especially because you can't pick the experience you get.
No.
With Infinite right now. You don't get to pick what you play. It's like you get to play big team battle or random objective mode or maybe Slayer. You get to play 4v4s, random
it feels
mode.
Unfinished. The game feels unfinished.
You got very little maps. There's no Forge support. You get no single player unless you actually pay the big $60. But you know what? The single player looking good though. You know what I mean? That trailer that
trailer
launched,
looks awesome. Yeah, that trailer looks phenomenal.
I did have a little bit of a tear going, dude. It was
same, dude. Like, I got chills, dude.
Did you see what was it? No spoilers, guys, but I'm gonna say what was in the trailer because I don't feel like that's a spoiler. It's in the trailer, but like, it looked like there was like a Promethean.
It did with the red and the red thing at the end.
Fucking, I don't know if I don't know. It was like in the middle of it saying like you're not the she said something like, "You're not the fucking future," and then punched him or some shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like a Promethean or
Prothean?
Prothean.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm mixing up my my
Science
sci-fi,
fiction?
dude. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, dude, because I want them to expand on the lore, expand on the story, and I just don't see right now. I don't see how Infinite does that. It's like, okay, they're gonna fire another ring, but like, what happened to Cortana? What happened to taking over the fucking universe and shit with like rogue AI and stuff? Like, what happened to Halo
guess we'll
5,
find out.
dude? Like,
Hopefully they forgot about it.
it's like, oh, Halo 5, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Retcon Halo 5, dude. Let's go.
Dude, seriously.
I'd be okay with it, dude. But
Dude, Halo 5, it still gets me, man. It's like you fight the first boss and you're like, oh man, that was fun and exciting and challenging.
yeah,
And then Halo's like, oh dude, you know what's even better? 2 bosses.
Oh,
the
my-
same ones at the same time.
Oh my God.
It's even better than that. 3 bosses at the same one.
the same 3 bosses over and over. Or, yeah, the same guy.
They just
3
kept
of them.
adding more of the same guy,
I
dude.
know, dude. It was very lazy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a fun fight though. And it was
It was tedious.
why did Halo become so cheesy with Halo 5? Like, it just felt like a kid's game. Like, why am I in the kids section at Target and they got like Master Chief toys? This is
Because-
a rated M fucking game, dude.
Because I think 343 had directive, maybe, this is total speculation, or maybe they took it upon themselves
Yeah.
to make Halo for a new generation.
You know, that's BS, dude. That's BS.
Well, it's just a hot take. I didn't tell you it's real.
It might be what happened.
Yeah.
I just think that's bullshit if it did, because like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. I ain't up for that. Halo 4 I actually liked. How'd you feel about it?
I think
Campaign.
Halo 4 felt great. I like Halo 4 campaign too. I'm still partial to 3 and 2.
Yeah, so you
But-
like the OG kind of campaigns and the
do.
direction
I
and
do.
story. I felt like 4 was good. I felt like they brought some humanity
I
to
thought
Master
4 was
Chief.
fine. I thought 4 was fine.
I like the Cortana stuff.
I think
liked-
for me, it's 3, 2, 1, 4, Reach 5.
Okay. Wow, you liked 4 better than Reach. Interesting.
I do.
So you
I just
didn't
like Master Chief.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know,
It's not
agree,
that I
dude.
didn't like Reach. I just like Master Chief.
I agree. I think a lot of people respect Reach for its customization and its multiplayer, but as far as the
Yeah.
story goes, I didn't really care.
Yeah,
much
we're
for
talking strict. We're talking strict
campaign for me.
Campaign, yeah.
Like I'm a
Yeah.
Master Chief guy
3, 2, 1,
through
4
and
Reach.
through. That's a part of the
5,
reason why
yeah.
I didn't like 5 is like I was
Yeah.
Locke the whole time. Who gives a fuck about Locke? Not me. I
Yeah.
want Chief, dude.
His visor was cool though.
Yeah, other than that, dude, I was like, I don't care about this guy. Like, I wanted to care about him. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't want to dislike him. I just,
Right.
when he got his ass beat by Chief, I was like, good.
Yeah.
The fight scene, and that fight scene was really dumb, dude. Chief should have whooped his ass, dude.
Oh, it's frustrating. Like
Lore
why would you do
perspective,
that?
dude. The
Yeah.
Spartan 2's way better than the new Spartans.
Yeah.
They were like genetically altered and they, you know, all this shit. Whereas like the new Spartans are like sissies in comparison. No offense to Spartans that weren't like basically abducted and then
Yeah.
forced to be soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely unethical. But let's be real, they're badasses though.
Yeah.
Spartan
Yeah.
2 would have beat the shit out of Locke. And I mean, he did win, but he must have been holding back a little bit because
I mean, he was acting a little
he's like,
a little bitch,
did you just crack my visor, bitch?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That fight should have been more one-sided, I think.
It should have. He might have held back on Locke a little bit, but yeah, should have fucking beat his ass, dude, right then.
Yeah, but speaking of that, how cool is that part where that dude in the trailer is like, but you only have one bullet? Yeah.
Oh, shit, what did he say? Oh my god, I forget.
In the Infinite trailer?
Yeah, what was
You know what I
said?
talked about?
No, I gotta watch. I watched it once, dude. I fucking don't remember.
Oh my god, dude! I watched it like 4 times.
I wanna
bro.
watch it
You-
again now.
Bro, you even Halo, dude?
dude, I'm not a fan.
Oh, hold on. Let me get to the part, dude.
I love the part where he was like,
It's like when he's jumping out of like the pelican.
yeah, and landing.
Yeah.
He's like something about like it's enough or some shit. I forget what he said.
Yeah.
Or what did he say? Fuck.
Oh, I'm at it
Just
right
pull it
now,
up.
dude. Yeah.
What did he say, dude? What's he say? He's always got the
Okay,
one-liner.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh shit.
I'm lying to you, dude. Let me get to it.
You don't even. He watched it 4 times. You don't even remember, dude.
Dude, I wasn't like recording timestamps,
Oh
dude.
my god.
It's before this. It's a. You have one bullet against an entire army, is what he says.
Okay.
And then Chief goes, "It's enough."
It's enough, dude. I mean, it's true though. I loved the part where he was like flying up on a camp, and it was like this massive like environment, and he just kind of jumps in, starts fucking shit up.
Oh, dude, that's the part, dude, right there, dude. I linked it to you, dude. That's it, dude.
I'm not gonna play it for the podcast.
Play it for yourself, dude.
Yeah, well, shit. Hold on. I'll put it up on the podcast, I guess, but I won't like actually, I won't actually show it because I'll get copyright striked, dude. Yeah. So this is the trailer, dude. So he drops. This is when he jumps off the Pelican and then just kind of deploys, dude. Looking good though. Chief looking good. There was one part in the trailer where he like was jumping off a cliff into the Pelican. Did you see that? That was sick.
Dude, I've seen the whole thing a couple times. Dude.
Did you see the part that you watched the trailer 4 times, dude? Of course you did. I just thought that was pretty cool, but I'm a big. Here it is. I think it's at the end here. He's like free falling. Pelican comes in to swoop his ass up, dude. That's sick. I'm really curious about this. What's her face, dude? What do they call her? The Cortana clone?
Yeah.
The if I can call her, dude. Oh God, I lost it. Hopefully she's good. Hopefully she's good because we need somebody to like. Cortana, a character I liked. They smeared poo all over in Halo 5.
I don't know why they did that.
How do you have a valiant sacrifice in Halo 4? Everybody was like, dang, dude, she gone. And then in Halo 5, they're like, hey, all that stuff? That character you loved? Guess what? She's evil now, dude.
Yeah,
she's evil now. Hey, what's the most childish story we can invent for our new audience that you're talking about? Oh, that she's evil now, dude. That's how deep it is. Yeah. Oh, that character you like? Evil. God dang it. I just hate it. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Anyway, dude, so that's the Halo discussion. One last quick hit, dude. What are you playing lately? Halo? Halo. That's it.
That's it, man.
I've been playing Dark Souls, dude. So I've
been playing a little bit of Rune King too, but that's not as exciting as Halo.
What's Rune King? Rune King, dude? Is that a mobile game, dude?
No, dude. It's a RPG that's in the League of Legends universe.
Ruined King?
Ruined King.
Hold on. I have it up. So
Ruined King, dude. It's awesome.
I mean, this looks like... wait, what? A League of Legends story? Apparently there's a League of Legends show. Do you know about that?
Arcane is insane. Yeah, dude.
It's insane?
Arcane is so good. Oh my God.
No way.
Good. I'm telling you,
I don't want to believe it, dude.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
Wait, is this a fighting game? What is this?
No, I told you.
It's like a RPG?
It's like almost like a single player Divinity kind of game.
Oh wait, no. Oh wait, turn-based combat?
Yeah, it's fantastic, dude. It's fantastic.
Yasuo, dude?
It's fantastic. Dude.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
You know, let me tell you something. The trope is everyone gets lightning in a bottle, right? Like all these games, like you might get a game that's like League of Legends where it's like lightning in a bottle. They got like this amazing game. And then like every spin-off sucks, right? That's kind of like the typical thing that happens. But like you're telling me that not only did they get a video game TV show correct, like that's
Valorant's pretty successful too. So
what is it?
Valorant, the shooter, pretty successful.
Yeah, but like Valorant isn't fucking League of Legends IP, I guess. You know what I mean? Like that's like a new IP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's by Riot. It's by the same company.
Yeah, but that's like a new IP. So like I can kind of judge that. Like I didn't think it'd be good either, right? Like to be fair.
Yeah.
And apparently it is, but like I don't know, man. Isn't there like a League fighting game coming out too?
There's a League fighting game coming out that's 2D like Street Fighter, so it's going to probably be bonkers. There's also a League MMO coming out too.
Okay, I'm trying to see what's going on here. Gosh, they have a lot of stuff coming, I guess.
Yeah, dude, like, they're going to be the next Blizzard for sure.
You know, they kind of act like it with how their games are, right? Like they kind of, you know, it's like they have Valorant, which is like their Overwatch, and then you know, League obviously is like very, you know, I mean, League started out as Dota was a Warcraft 3 mod or not mod,
which is funny because like
custom game.
I was in the League beta, right?
Yeah.
So, like I like the King Rammus skin and all that stuff, and like all my boys that I play games with are like obsessed with Dota, or like we're obsessed with Dota. And like I remember going to like Paul and saying, "Yo, man, you should try out League with me. Like it's really good.
Yeah,
like they really did it right." And he goes, "Nerd, who would play a Dota clone when Dota exists? Why would you do that, dude? Just play Dota."
Yeah.
And now I can't get him off League of Legends to this day. To this day.
Yep.
So like I make fun of him all the time because he literally gave me so much shit for playing League of Legends, and now it's all the kid plays like 20 years later.
Yeah, I want to admit, League, I used to play it obsessively. You know, like I remember when Dota was originally out for Warcraft 3, I was in the Navy at the time, and I had a huge friend community that played it, and I couldn't get into it. I think the learning curve was too heavy. But League came out, and it kind of made a MOBA type game a little bit more accessible to new players. You know, they kind of condensed everything down. They reduced, it was kind of weird to where when you start out as a new player, you don't have that many options. You have like a limited amount of characters unlocked. You know, you got like your weekly free rotation. And I feel like that's kind of good. Like they didn't overwhelm you with choices at the beginning, which is what happened with Dota. It's like, oh my God, I have all this stuff. Like what is going on? And then they made it easier to like, do your builds and stuff. It was a little bit more user friendly, and that's when I got into League. And I think over my lifetime of League, I asked Riot like how much money I spent, and it was like $1,300.
Yeah, I'm sure I spend a lot on League too.
I've spent like over the lifetime of League. I'm like, damn it, dude. I've become what I hate, a whale. But not even though, real whales spend way more than that. But I feel like a whale. Shoot.
You were a whale for Infinite on day one, dude. So.
I guess that's what they want, dude. That's the game. Games are about whales now. They're not about. It's not about the players. It's about getting the whales. But I'm really impressed with what Riot's got here. I'll check out Arcane or whatever it's called.
Check out Rune King too, dude. It's your type of game.
Yeah, I like that kind of style of game, and
like it's very dialogue heavy. It's very much like a Divinity or like a Baldur's Gate-esque game with like obviously lighter on character creation because you have champions that are set up right.
Yeah,
but you still have skill trees. You still have itemizations. You still have parties you form.
Like cost
you
money
could talk.
Or...
No, of course not.
Oh, so it's free to play or.
Oh! The game costs money. It's $40 though.
Okay, yeah,
so
I see it. Standard edition's $30, deluxe is $40.
Yeah. So, I could tell you though that if you look on like I'm about maybe 15 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want how long to beat. Like the game is long, dude. Like you definitely get your money's worth.
Okay.
Like if you're a completionist, you're looking at like 50 plus hours for all the side quests and stuff.
Right.
For $30, it's pretty good.
Are you playing it on PC or like consoles or
Xbox?
Xbox, yeah. Okay.
But it is on PC too, so
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll check it out, dude. It looks like a cool
I think it's
game.
on every platform too. It's on Switch. It's on PS4, Xbox, PC.
That's cool.
Basically anything that has a screen.
Yeah.
Play it on.
I like it. Does it work on Proton? That's what.
Well, it's on Steam, so probably, right?
Yeah. I can always check out the Proton DB to find out. The website tells you what the Proton support is for these games. I love it. So, there it is. Anyway, but let's wrap it up, dude. I think this has been it, right?
I think so, dude.
I think it's it, dude.
I think so. Been a long one.
It's been a long one. We kind of like to, we had a week off, so we had to get it out of our system.
We did.
Dude. It was built up. So, yeah, thanks for watching and listening to the Technosthetic podcast. It's been great. Feel free to check us out on technosthetic.com. Send us an email. We're always willing to chat with our audience. And leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Check us out on YouTube.
All of them.
And we'll see you guys next week on the podcast. Appreciate it.
Later.